I'm missing.
Hey. Randy Rhodes just jumped off and away from his camera, but it's 7 o'clock straight up Tuesday, January 30th. I am Dave Globin. This is Boogie with Bull Tuesday Night Live. Randy Rhodes has a wonderful Confederate rebel hat on tonight. And if you become a client of All Roads Lead You Home Genealogy Service in the next 3 seconds, you will get a hat free with your full paid subscription.
It won't be a bad deal. I actually, my flags, I don't know how many my flags you see in the background there, but my flags and this hat was actually donated to me by one of my clients. So that's pretty cool. He gave me 5 flags and the hat. So that's pretty cool. But there you go. I don't normally wear hats. I was in the Air Force for 4 years, and I got tired of wearing a hat. Whenever you walk outside, you have to have your hat on. If you didn't have your hat on, whoa! I tell you what, you got yourself in trouble. Aaron, where's your hat? Where's your coat? There's a bag of bags. Get back there and get it now.
So that's why I didn't go into the Marines, because I was told that the first time a drill sergeant acted like that to me, I would probably yell back at them and find out that that's not something that you want to do.
No, it's definitely not. But you know what's sad? It's really, really sad. This whole damn woke life that we now find ourselves in, the training drill sergeant, whatever you call them, they can't treat them the way they treated us when we joined up years ago. The whole idea of boot camp is you get 35, 40 people to a squad or to a wing, whatever you want to call it, based on the military force that you're in. You get like 35, 40 people, and they all come to the base with their own personalities. The wealthy guy, the poor guy, trying to stay out of jail, so he joined the military or whatever. So they're all coming together with all of these different minds, right? And the drill sergeant's job is to take those 35 separate individual minds and create one. So when you say, attack, or you say shoot, or you say whatever, they respond. And so the only way they did that was they had to break you down. And how else to break down a man or a woman that has a strong personality? How to treat them like shit, right? And they did. When I was in, basically they're allowed to swear, they're allowed to call me names, they're allowed to do whatever the hell they wanted, other than physically abuse me, to break me down to where not that I'm cowering in a corner somewhere, but to where I realize that this guy's in charge, and I got to do what he tells me to do. Otherwise, my ass is in the brig. And it worked. Now, there were some who just couldn't take it, and they dropped out. But for the most part, your 35, 40 people, upon graduation, might have been 30, So you lost them along the ways. But now, they can't do that. And I've seen videos of these damn soldiers, talking back to their superior officers. That's like, you can't have that. When you're in a military situation, combat situation, and you're under attack, that sergeant, that lieutenant, commander, whatever, has to have the confidence that when he tells his men or women or a combination thereof to attack that position, they attack it. But I don't think for the most part our military has that capacity anymore. I mean, look what just happened. Okay, 3 men, it was a woman and 2 men were killed and 30 injured from an attack by Jordan. This is 2 days later, and our country has not done shit to respond. Right? That's bullshit. That tells the world that we're not going to respond if our troops are fired on. Because now if he does it, he's doing, the reaction is going to be, oh, he did it because he came under a fire by his own people in his political world. He didn't do it because he was supposed to. You're then commander, and then the freaking no, the press secretary. She was supposed to make make a comment, salutations to the family. I'm sad, so sorry to hear about your loss. She couldn't even fucking do that. I'm sorry, she couldn't do that.
I don't think she's capable of being.
I mean, without her binders and books to tell her what to say and so forth, she's lost.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
I don't think she should be the. You have to be. I guess what I'm trying to say is you have to be a good liar if you're going to be the president's press secretary, because you get to a point where a lot of times you're not. I mean, you're not speaking for yourself any of the time, but this monitor's just not doing what it's supposed to do, and this one is too small. So hang on just a second. All right, we'll have to read off of this one, but you get to the point where you're not speaking for yourself. You never are. You're speaking for the president. And when you're Joe Biden's press secretary, I don't know if you want to speak for him a lot, because I don't think he knows a lot about what he is saying at any one time. That's what I wanted to hear. That's actually what I wanted to see. So no, this monitor is just not doing. Come on. Hang on. No. All right. No, you're just going to be difficult. Modern technology. Oh, there it is. There it is. Now I can see it like I'm supposed to. In the Boogie with the Bull live chat over here on Facebook on the Dave William profile, William Grant is watching. Jane O'Malley is watching. Robin Brunson is watching as well. Charisse Moser, who we all know is Soup Mama Official, has a link, and if she can safely after 7 o'clock, she might join us. And William Rayfield, who is on his way to Texas as well, was going to try to link to us as well. If anybody watching is in Texas, you are more than welcome to pop in and tell us what is happening in Texas. Hang on just a second. I keep getting that stupid sound from Messenger that someone is trying to reach me on Messenger, and I keep looking and no one is trying to reach me on Messenger.
Let me turn my devices off.
And I gotta look at one other thing here. Hang on a minute. I gotta read one other message if I can find it. It's getting to the point where you can't. When it gets to the point when you can't even find the message. Anyway, I can't find it. But anyway, we're here, and if anyone is watching, you're more than welcome to be here. And if you have something to say about what's going on in Texas, where you think it's going to lead to, do you think the other states that are backing Governor Abbott and sending their National Guard, do you think once they can't afford to keep them there, they will not do that? Do you think it will fall? I think I called it today a swamp stunt, that maybe it's just Texas and the Biden administration fighting back and forth with an understanding that they got to close up the border. And maybe it'll happen, because I could have sworn that I've seen some videos in the last couple of days that seem to show Joe Biden is in favor of closing the border. And that doesn't appear to me to be the man who is our president right now. What do you think, Randy?
I think, there's been things that they're saying, is this really the president, or is this an actor, or is this a clone? Because there are some days this guy doesn't know his ass from his hole in the ground. There's other days where he's actually talking, kind of normal, like Fetterman. Holy crap! Look at him. Since his strokes and stuff, this guy's carrying on conversations. He's wearing a suit. Last I saw, he's up on the building waving the Jewish flag. I mean, a complete switcheroo. So is that the real Fetterman, or is that or what? Because he's not acting the same. Well, it's the same with this, this so-called president of the United States. He says one thing, like they're saying right now, that he's for supporting the, closing the border, but at the same time, his handlers are saying no, that's not what he meant. We're just at a point now where they're finding there's too many terrorists are making their way across the border, and the thought is that they're just waiting for the order to be given to attack their targets. And to be honest with you, when you have what was, I think it's like 8 million plus now of illegals, that's a damn good sized army.
I keep coming back to the same point that it's just a game, and that Biden doesn't want the Republicans who have the House majority right now to close the border and put that through, because he thinks then that will become a reason that people don't vote for Joe in the November election. Not that I don't think a whole lot of people, when you look at it, are going to vote for Joe anyway. And I'm still interested in trying to figure out what's going to go on with the Democrats at their nominating convention, because evidently the rules at both parties' nominating convention is they don't actually have to accept the elected nominee. They can opt to send in whoever they want. So then you start looking at, well, who are they going to send in? Some people say Gavin Newsom, governor of California. Some people say Michelle Obama.
Yeah, Michael. You mean Michael, right?
The former worst lady of the United States. I did say with people on a post discussion today that, it would be an interesting thing that if the Democrats could get Gavin Newsom as their presidential nominee and Michelle Obama as their vice presidential nominee, they could probably muster up enough Democrat votes to control the White House for the next, 8 and 8 is 16, and 8 and 8 is another 16 for the next 32 years.
Yeah.
All that would happen is that Gavin Newsom would have, Michelle would have to find a new vice president. And who knows, by then the Democrats might get it so that Barack Obama can legally come back for his 8th or 9th, 10th, 12th term as president. I don't know what's going to happen. And it is fun to theorize what's going to happen, but I don't think any of us know. And those that claim to know, I don't even know if they know what they honestly think. David Novar is in the live chat, and you're welcome. You're welcome. I'm glad you're here, David. It's a pleasure to have you here watching. I hope everybody in the live chat is sharing tonight, sharing everywhere you can.
Sorry about that. If you see me jump out, I have a cat with nasal issues, and I'm either going to be jumping out of his way as he sneezes, or I'm going to be jumping to his nose. Yeah. Unfortunately, he was born with what we think are adenoids, but something in his nose to where it should be surgically removed, but it's a very dangerous surgery. His brother actually died extremely young from a heart condition. And this poor guy here is left with a nasal thing, so I'm not sure which one is worse. I mean, honestly, being dead is worse, but you just got to be out of the way of the cat. He sneezes. But having said all that, Texas, Texas is going to be our example of the Canadian truck convoy. It would be interesting to see if this president takes a page out of the Canadians' response and does the exact same thing by refusing them fuel, refusing them the ability to drive around, certain areas. If any GoFund accounts are set up for them to actually seize the money and that sort of thing. It would be very, very interesting to see if this president does that. I'll be honest with you, I think he might just do that. The other thing is, he made his threat to Governor Abbott that he was to stand down and allow the federal government people into that area, and he refused. It's now 48, 72 hours later, and Biden hasn't responded. Just like the thing with Jordan, the president makes these threats to do something, and he doesn't follow up with it. So he's proven himself to be a man of inaction. I think that when everything is done and said, that Governor Abbott is going to effectively shut down that border. He has already proven that the numbers have dropped down substantially. The American people are behind him. The last I heard, there's 26 states supporting him with either state police officers or our National Guard. Then the talk was, the president could federalize the National Guard. So that's something that we should look into to find out what effect that would have if he federalizes the National Guard. Do the commanders of those troops have to give in and accept the federal government's takeover, or can they somehow legally fight and say, "Look, screw you, we're not going to allow you to take control of my troops"?
Well, the big question becomes, as you and other people have said, how many people in the military are going to, if he federalizes the National Guard, then how many of those people are going to hold true to their National Guard positions and not turn around and go to war with Texas? Or how many of them are just going to say, hey, we've really had enough, and my job is to protect the people of the great state of Texas, and, we're just going to tell you that enough is enough. But then I keep coming back to, this is a swamp stunt that, maybe everybody seems to know that this has all been resolved and they're just playing it out for us because we're stupid. And I say that because some people seem to think that it's been resolved and worked out, and that President Trump, somehow martial law was invoked, and that any day now the military will decide that they're ready. They've cleaned up the swamp, did everything they had to do with Washington, D.C., and they're going to bring back President Trump. And I don't know if that's true or if it's just a dream. So it's all messed up. But my concern also is that how easy would it be for those states that have sent their National Guard to Texas to turn away from Texas if their National Guard is federalized and the state calls them back. But so I mean, it's just kind of a big mess. Hold on, got our dog is barking, so I may have to kill my mic for a second.
Okay, I never thought in 100 years, and I'm 60. God, 60. We'll be 65 in a couple of days. Ever thought that my country would be at this point where they're turning against citizens? I'm talking about real, true, born here citizens. I know, there's all kinds of, deep, dark, storybook movie making material where they're saying how, this goes back to way before, soon after we became a nation, money was exchanged. We became part of this, we became part of that. You have your statues and monuments in Washington, D.C., and they're set up in a way to reflect certain, so we say, outer world experiences. A lot of stuff's going on and being said about that, but it still boils down to this. You have 300 men and women, maybe 500 in Washington, in the White House, who are making the laws. And you have 340 million or so citizens of this nation. Obviously, a portion of that 340 million, whatever the number is going to be on the left, and the rest is going to be on the right. But as we're to be told that there are more conservatives than there are liberals. So why in the hell can, let's say, half or so of 500 people in the White House make laws to tell the 100 some, 200 some million people how to live? Why can't we say no? There are more of us than there are you, and I've heard that. Thank you, Jane. I expect a gift in the mail soon. Okay, thank you. Books about the Civil War would be great. More pro-Confederate than pro-Union. That'd be even better. But where was I? God, we're right the window. No, but you have the majority of the people. Why aren't we telling those 200, 300, 400 people how we want you to pass laws? We want laws to protect, the Confederate monuments and statues and the paintings. We want you to protect our borders, both the northern border and the southern border. We want God back in our schools, in our court systems, and so forth. We don't want 5-year-olds making this, being told you can be a boy or a girl. There are more of us than there are them, but they're going to pass laws, and we have to live by it. Something's not adding up here, folks. And I've said before, you have 7 to 10% of our nation who lives a lifestyle that the rest of the nation doesn't live, but that 7 or 10% is telling us how to freaking live and what to say and what to talk. I mean, you see the videos where a person goes into a fast food restaurant, whatever, and they get called a sir or a he, and all of a sudden all hell breaks loose because this person was identified as a man, but it looks like a woman. Hell, I just saw on the news, on Newsmax, they did a story of this school where a couple of students are coming in and they are identifying as freaking kitty cats. Right? Elementary school kids identifying as freaking kitty cats, and they won't communicate in English. They communicate by meowing or purr or whatever. So now you have this damn teacher somehow trying to learn what this kid's trying to say and meow back to them. They have to have litter boxes in the damn bathrooms so these kids can use a litter box instead of a toilet.
No,
I'm sorry. No.
That's just right. It is. That's That's crazy. That's just where you draw the line. Danny Campbell, who's watched more Boogie with the Bull broadcasts than anybody in the history of the internet. A pleasure to have you here. Jane O'Malley said, okay, about your gift. I was going to say, Jane, my birthday was 2 weeks ago and you didn't send me anything. So instead of sending me anything, send something to Randy because it's 65 years old. That's the mandatory retirement age from Boogie with the Bull. So at least he'd be able to stick around for another few episodes.
Oh, so anyway, yeah, 60. Oh my God, 65. You know, I think I have to check my ancestry. My wife. If you want something to be remembered, tell my wife. She has a memory like a freaking magnet. She can tell you that her parents' anniversary, their birth dates, the days they died. Same with the cousins, the aunts, the uncles. She can tell you about the movies, who's in the movie. I mean, this woman, her memory is like a freaking steel trap. But you ask her where the bottle of salt is. You're muted.
I love my wife because my memory is on the way to somewhere meeting up with Joe Biden's memory and probably having all kinds of fun times there. But I love my wife because my wife is the same way too. My wife can remember the day of our first date. She can probably remember everything we did that night. Because the only thing I can remember it, but the only thing I remember is walking back to my Lincoln Town car and saying to myself, I'm never going to hear from this lady again because I'm just insane and she's not. And
my very first date with my wife, we went to see this movie about this singer who dove into a lake and became paraplegic. I can't think of her name, but she does all kinds of Christian songs. But I was all dressed up, right? Well, I had back then I had Chaps. So it was like a $30 bottle of cologne. I was lathered up. I was smelling good, And I was walking up to her house, and she lives in a semi-detached house. So that's two houses side by side, right? The one thing she forgot to tell me was that her neighbor was the leader of the motorcycle gang in Lancaster County. Okay, and we're talking hard-nosed, gang, and that he has.
We interrupt this broadcast for a very important announcement. Fleur Dells said, Michael Anthony, you're right. So I just want to let you know, Michael, if you're still watching, that you're still right. We announced it on Boogie with the Bull on January 30th. And other than that, okay, Randy, I'm sorry I interrupted you, but it was kind of funny.
What was she right about?
No, she said Michael was right about something.
So she didn't tell me about him being the gang member, and then he had two guard dogs, so Doberman Pinschers. So I'm walking out the sidewalk. I'm feeling good, right? Yeah, I'm going to take my girl off for a date. And all of a sudden, from around the damn corner of his house, here come these two Dobermans, right? And they're looking for freaking blood. And I remember being taught if a dog's coming after you, you freeze. So I froze. And I'm standing there. Here these two damn dogs are slobbering up my suit, right? And the drool's coming down, and they're waiting for the command to attack. Okay, and here comes this woman who's always this guy's girlfriend. She's trained to control these two damn dogs. Meanwhile, I can see in the freaking window that they had the curtain pulled back. Here she is with her mom looking out the window at me, like, oh, right? I kind of look. I'm like, do something. Finally, this lady got these damn dogs dragged away from me. And I got inside the house and I sat down and they said, oh, we're so sorry. We forgot to tell you. That'd be nice to know.
We're so sorry, Uncle Albert. Hey, I don't have permission to sing that. I don't have permission to use that, but I'm probably going to get a copyright violation because I did anyway. I looked at my account today. This is probably the first time in 15 years of being on Facebook I have no active violations against me.
There you go. Until tonight, and then
I almost logged off. I was never gonna log on again.
There you go. And your career with a good sign.
You know. But then, I'd have no violations. Facebook would miss me. They'd have to invite me back because I got no violations, which means that they like me all of a sudden.
Dear Mr. Golovin, please come back. We miss your violations.
And let's see. We'd get 3 handicap parking spaces at the Boogie with the Bull studio. 1 for you, 1 for Jen, 1 for me.
Yeah, that works.
We might get an executive producer engineer because I told you in the green room before we went on, I went to take someone else's broadcast that I share all the time, and I went to the share screen, and when it opened up, there were hundreds of groups listed there. And they're the same hundreds of groups that I share to every day, but my brain all of a sudden said, what is this? And I couldn't do it. So anyway, probably not enough caffeine this morning.
I'm not sure if you saw my post from yesterday. I guess it was. Maybe it was today. About me leaving the one organization. Some things happened that wrecked it, and I just couldn't. I couldn't. What's the word I'm looking for? In my mind, continue with the organization because it wasn't. First of all, what I was expecting it was going to be. Second off, allowing certain things to take place that shouldn't have taken place, and just wasn't living up to my expectations of what I thought was going to be. So I did resign my commission, if you will, of colonel. I also stepped down from being the genealogist for 8 Confederate states, although they wouldn't really generate any business for me.
Randy Rhodes is no longer the grand dragon of genealogy for like every northern state that's left in the Union.
No, so I never approached this whole thing. My actually charging for my services started about 2.5 years ago. Because up until then, I was doing it, for free. But then I realized, after this one person paid me, $50 for finding something about his dad, I realized, I could actually make some money here. And I was on disability, and and the thought of the extra money, made sense. And I knew all along that I could not charge for my services the same as another genealogist whose sole income was generated by that genealogy. Since I was getting a check every month from the Social Security, I was going to charge the amount of money that I was legally allowed to earn. I want to show you guys something here. Just give me one moment.
Nick, I don't know if he has made it to Texas yet. I sent him a link. If he was able to join us, he was going to do his best. I have a link which I have posted that will bring you to his broadcast if you're someone that he might want to join his broadcast. But if you go to my profile, the Dave William profile, there's a post of the current drive. And if you go over to Charisse Moser's Soup Mama official page, and if you check Soup Mama's personal page, there may be a link of her posting. Jerry Michaels is in the house, I think. No? We're waiting. Jerry Michaels is in the house. But everybody has a link. I'm doing good. Everybody has a link. If they come, they come. If they don't, they come. If they don't, then we're going to sit here and do it anyway. But what's on your mind tonight, Mr. Michaels?
I have nothing on my mind, Dave. I find it easier to go through life that way.
Okay. All right.
What are you guys talking about?
We've just kind of gone all over the table. We started with Texas, and we went around that to really whatever's been coming out of our mouths.
I just read a news story where two parents had their daughter taken away from Children and Family Services because she's a troubled child, wants to kill herself, and also wants to be called Leon or Leo. And her parents are not playing her silly little game, so naturally the state took away the child. This happened in Montana. The last place on earth I would ever think something like that would happen.
Mm-hmm.
But it did. And the state in general, it's too powerful. I'm sorry. I can see if a child is being starved or being beaten every day of their life or any other the horrific crap we hear about, but not this.
Yeah.
Not this.
No.
They had the kid in a hospital, and the doctor actually said he got to the hospital and says she wants to be called Leo. Her parents wouldn't. The doctors and the nurses were all calling her Leo, and the parents tried to stop them. And the doctor asked how come they were more worried about what we were calling them than the fact the child wants to kill herself, even though the reason the child was in there is she lied about it, trying to kill herself. So, I'm sorry. Many people need to be punched in the face, and many people need to be shot in the back of the head, as far as I'm concerned. This is unreal to me. It's on Breitbart if anybody wants to watch it. Hey, Nick, how you doing?
I think I'm actually getting to a point where by the time this is all done, and there's a change of who is in the Oval Office, and hopefully it's President Trump, the line of people taken out back behind the White House to be rewarded for their work in the previous administration is going to be so long that Donald Trump might not be president by the time it's all done.
Well,
and
if we would actually start putting people in jail for doing this kind of crap, we would not have the problems we have. But they know they're not going to jail. Nobody's going to do anything to them.
And my thinking goes along those lines too. You know, everybody's hop, skipping, and jumping, hoping that the House is going to impeach Secretary Mayorkas, Secretary of DHS. And my question is, really, what difference does it make? You eliminate him and his whole bureau, whatever you want to call it, department, is so corrupted that it's just going to be same excrement, but a different day of the week with a new director. I don't think how people think that it's actually going to make any change, unless, of course, the Republican majority House starts, punishing these people for things that they've been doing wrong, and then hoping that's a sign. But I don't see that. What do you think?
They're all in bed together, Dave. It's not going to happen. That's the
Yeah.
problem. All right. All right.
I think
Anyway,
you said.
yeah.
I think you said last night.
That's. It's just, I hate saying this over and over again, but people need to go to jail. People need to be executed for being a traitor, and some of these people are very high ranking. We have generals in our military. Miley, look at him. He was a traitor. He literally said he was going to go against the commander in chief of the United States military. Okay, they need to be hung by the neck until dead. Okay, and this will stop this crap. But because they're all in bed together, it's never going to happen.
Yep. I don't know what the answer is. You hinted last night on something, then I called it today. I called it a swamp stunt. That it's just this whole border thing with Texas, which is a legitimate thing that needs to be done, protecting the border. But is it really a swamp stunt? Is it really just a swamp stunt between Republicans, Democrats, and the people of Texas?
Of course it is. But there's such a thing as political stunts that need to be done. This is one of them. Okay. Plain and simple. This is one of them. Somebody, here's my question. All right. What took so long? This has been going on since Biden got in office. What took so long? This is an election year. Now, he's not going to get reelected. I think he's termed out, I believe. I could be wrong, but I believe he's termed out. But still, why did this start 3 years ago? What everybody's making a big deal about this, but where the hell were these people? Why weren't they doing this 3 years ago? Okay. All these Republican states now are involved in this. There's some of them, I guess, sending National Guard, which I have no problem with, but unfortunately, there's already 3 million people in this country illegally in the last 3 years or more. I might get that number wrong actually, but how many does it take before the politicians actually do something? Apparently 3 years. And we're not going to get all these people out of here. Short of cutting all the benefits and the free food and the free schools and the free everything, we're not getting these people out of here.
This is probably true. I don't see how I don't see how it stops short of just removing them all and starting new, but I don't even see that can happen. I mean, the whole institution is so messed up that what do you do?
Well, it's like you're saying, Dre. It's an election year, and all these things we're seeing right now are just bullshit ploys to get us to say, rah, rah, look, my governor's doing. He's sending troops to support Texas. The whole thing with Trump, all of a sudden, have all these damn lawsuits coming out election year. There's this one asshole lady who's going supposedly and hopefully we'll never see $83 million. This happened, supposedly about 30 years ago. And all of a sudden she wants to say, oh, he raped me. Because it's an election year and the Democrats have no way of stopping the Trump train other than try and get, the women at least against him because, oh my God, he's a terrible man. He raped this woman. He called her nasty names. And now that this woman won this, there's another fucking case coming out now multi-millions of dollars against him for another situation.
Yeah.
They're going to keep dragging this shit out of the woodwork or made up or whatever until something eventually sticks. But I mean, even if it does, I heard that he can still run for president from the damn prison cell. And if that's the case, that's hunky dory fine. Just turn the next prison into the White House. But the Democrats are running freaking scared because if he gets in, the first thing he ought to do is throw every asshole in prison, charge them for treason. You go do what they do. Go back 150, 100 years to the damn law where it says you get hung until dead by the neck, for treason, and then make it a public hanging so that everybody else knows this man means business. Don't fuck with him because we'll wind up, hanging from the gallows. But I think we should take a step further. I think we should go back even further than 150 years. Let's go back to where the kings and queens would cut off their damn head, put a spike into it, and put it on the towers, across the bridge, and let the birds eat your eyeballs out.
Yep.
Dave.
Go ahead.
Dave, I have to tell you something.
Okay.
David Novar is our former co-host on the American Rebellion, and he's on here, and he's trying to cause problems, as he always does, because he's like 5 years old. He's a punk little bitch, and I don't know why he keeps doing this. He has very little life, apparently, and I will say what I want to say, or I will get off of his show and say it on my show or something. But he's going to keep coming back, just so you know.
Okay, I will take care of it. There is a way
do whatever
to bounce.
you want.
No. There is a way I know on StreamYard to bounce someone from the live chat, but unfortunately, I have never found it on my
All right, listen.
edition. Go ahead.
Listen.
Okay, talk me through it.
Hover your cursor over the his comment.
Okay,
there should be three little dots pop up. There should be three little dots pop up in the upper right-hand corner.
No, see, I have a star in the upper right. I have a star in the upper right-hand corner, and then just if I click the show, like if I click it and I want to see it, so I mean I can star it, but
no, not Nick. Not Nick. Nick is a good guy. I assume Nick's a good guy. I don't
I hit the wrong one. Okay.
No,
all right. That's David Novar. Up in the upper right hand corner, all I have is a star. I don't have.
Really?
I don't have the. Yeah, I don't have those three dots.
That's weird.
And also
anyway.
today I noticed for the first time I can't send invites through Messenger anymore. That's never happened to me before. I have to bug them tomorrow, but I'll ask them about how to remove.
Yeah, let's ask because I got them. I don't understand.
Yeah, I know. But I will.
Just don't tell Larry because Larry don't like them.
No, I will figure
Larry
out.
gets highly intense when it comes to old Dave.
Well, we can't get rid of Larry because on the nights that Larry is on Boogie with the Bull, it's truly international because we're live in Canada.
Yeah. Oh, we love the Lair.
And from what I understand, Justine likes to watch Boogie with the Bull just as much as Larry does.
Yeah, I doubt that.
Larry bought a house?
I told Larry. I think he's in the process, actually.
Oh, congratulations, Larry. Congratulations, Larry.
So, moving forward a little bit. It's nice to see, actually. He's had a hard couple of years here.
Okay. Congratulations, Larry. Glad that you have entered the realm of home ownership. David, stop it right now. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, I've made it clear that I cannot remove you from the broadcast. I will allow you to be in the live chat because I can't remove you from the broadcast without stopping the broadcast right now. And I'm not going to do that. Okay. So the best thing I can tell you, David.
You have the Facebook feed up? Because if you have the Facebook feed up, you can block them from there. I don't know. He's got 48 accounts. This is what he does, Dave. He does it constantly.
All right.
And,
so I'm going to say, Mr. Novar, get it out of your system tonight, okay? Because like I said, there's something missing in my StreamYard, and I can't remove you, and I'm not ending a broadcast or making it a boogie with a blowout just because I can't remove you. But I guarantee you won't be back, okay? What you're doing, David, is you're causing trouble in the live chat, okay? And I'm just right. My executive producer over there, my wife says, don't spend time on it, just do it. So, David, as soon as the broadcast is done, she's very right. She's very right. She's very right. She's very right. So, David, enjoy your last Boogie with the Bull broadcast, and that'll be it. And I hate having to do that, okay? I really do, okay? I pride Boogie on anybody can go into the live chat. And anybody can come into the live chat and say whatever you want, but when it's nitpicking BS about everybody and against everybody, it's just not right, and it takes away from the reason we are all here. So let's get back to the reason why we are all here, and we're just having conversations about whatever comes up. Anybody in the live chat have an idea for something you want to see us discuss or you want to bring to the table? Whoops, wait a minute. You are more than welcome to come on. Matter of fact, Larry, sometime you're welcome to come on. Nick Gurr, evidently you know Jerry, but this is the first time I've seen you on a Boogie with the Bull, so welcome in, and I hope that the festivities in the live chat don't preclude you from coming back. And now we return to what Jerry was saying before I interrupted Jerry, which was not.
I don't even remember what it was, but I just think that we talk about the country is supposed to be a rule of law, okay, and it is for us, and the laws are used and brought down on us like a sledgehammer. But for people doing, say, for instance, insider trading, which they're all doing, nothing happens. It's perfectly okay. Matter of fact, there's never even charges basically about that. Taking money, bribes, in other words, lobbyists and so on and so forth. They've made the rules so it's not even a bribe anymore. Although it is a bribe, it's just not a bribe according to their rules. It goes in their campaign funds, or it goes here, it goes there, and it's perfectly legal. And that's not supposed to be the American way. Representatives that you vote in are supposed to go up to Washington, D.C. and vote the conscience of the Constitution first, and then the people that they actually represent. They're not supposed to vote their own conscience. That's that's not why we send them there. And unfortunately, it seems like whoever we put in, they just within a year, they're right there in the swamp, waddling around with the rest of the pigs. Anybody know the routes the convoys are taking? Yeah, you can go. I can tell you this. I can hold on a second. I think I can post a comment here. I don't know.
Well, I thought they were trying to keep the. I thought they're trying to keep that stuff quiet, because I know when William was reporting from his hotel room, he was saying that he was trying to keep his location a secret for some reason.
Okay. Well,
the website that they have has all the routes on it. It is called takeourborderback .com, I think it is.
Okay.
Takeourborderback.com, I believe it is. Yeah. If you go
There's-
there and you go down, if you go down here, wait a minute. Oh, yeah. I see that they have a bunch of maps and stuff down in here. So that's what I can tell you on
Yeah.
that, because somebody told us the other night. Ichabod told us the other night about it. Yeah.
Yep. Nick says Highway 5 is one of them. There's no problem with Jane. Jane, I believe, just wants to get close enough to where she is to show her support by being there as the convoys go by, and which is a novel task for those of us. And I promised her I would try to get the answer to her. I was hoping that William would join us tonight, but there it is. Right, Jerry just put it up in the live chat. takeourborderback.com/maps, or that whole thing that you see on the screen right now, and I'll make sure we get it posted in the groups as well. That will give you maps.
I mean, I would assume while they're Governor Abbott has all these state and national guard there, that he's putting some of them to work anyways to continue building the wall, right?
If you watch some of the videos, it looks like that's what they're doing. They're putting razor wire up on the old buried trailers right there. Go ahead, Jerry.
No, Nick was saying, I think it was last night, they're putting up more razor wire. I mean, Joe, did the line in the sand thing and then did nothing. As you knew Joe don't know what he's doing. And then they just started putting up more, I guess. I have no problem with any of this. Any state that should want to, protect its borders. I'm sorry. I live in Florida, and like back in the 70s, our borders were overrun by Cuban exiles and you name it, just showing up. And it was the exact same problem, but they put them in what was called the Chrome Detention Center, and it's like a jail. Okay, federal government really wasn't helping. And Castro cleaned out his prisons by sending prisoners over. So there was a lot of crime and so on and so forth and on. And, it was a much smaller scale, obviously, because it's Cuba, but still, South Florida was overrun. And what happened was they all stayed there in South Florida, big Cuban place down there. But we had hurricane hit Florida, and it took out Miami and Homestead, which is down way south, and they all started moving north. So now they're everywhere. There was a lot of problems, but obviously they came by boat, inner tube, piece of plywood, whatever. They I think one guy, and I didn't mind him being in the country. This guy took like a '57 Chevy pickup truck and put pontoons on it and a motor, in the back, and he drove over on that, and then the Coast Guard picked him up and they sunk the truck, which was kind of pissed me off, because I said, a guy would do that. A guy would do that. I don't have a lot of problem with him being here, no problem. Okay, but they had another woman. She came over with her infant baby. Okay, baby drowned, and when she got here, they treated her like she was the Messiah or something. Oh my God, I can't believe this. Look at what they're doing. Look what they give up just to be free and blah, blah. It's like that bitch needs to be in jail for what she did.
Could you imagine?
Basically murdered her own kid on this trip.
Could you imagine if that guy got his amphibious pickup truck here, got cleared, came into the country to become a citizen? Could you imagine how successful his pontoon boat business would be, taking classic pickup trucks and making them pontoon
Yeah.
boats. Oh my God!
People over there in Cuba, I'll tell you this: over in Cuba, they drive a lot of them '50s cars and trucks and stuff because they make their own parts. I
Yeah,
mean, you need an alternator, you can't get one in Cuba. You make one, and it's like, wow, okay. I have no problem. And like Mexicans, they work hard. I get it, but you know what? They can't overrun our country. It's that simple. I don't feel sorry for them because most of them are working for cash. They're getting free health care. They're getting free this, free that, food stamps, you name it, blah, blah, blah. And what do we get? We get to pay? Yeah, I'm not asking for immigration to stop. I'm asking for illegal immigration to stop. I'm asking for our borders not to be overrun and invaded, whatever. Uh, That's what I'm asking for.
yep, yep, yep. I wonder if yeah, just that just tickles me, especially a guy converted his classic pickup truck so he could
Yeah,
I wonder what,
but I
drive
mean,
into the ocean and get here.
like, I have that kind of
and
knowledge. I wonder what he's
I don't know
doing
how
when he.
far. I don't know. This guy, I don't know how far he got, but the Coast Guard picked him up. So I'm assuming within 7 miles of America, and it's like a 90-mile trip. Okay, I mean, it's literally 90 miles to Cuba from like the into Florida there, and they come to Miami, which is towards the bottom of the state, almost all the way to the bottom. So, Miami's huge, miles and
Mhm.
miles and miles. There's all different parts of Miami. There's Metro Dade, which is like the city, then there's blah blah blah. Yeah, but I got to tell you, that was I was sad that they sunk that.
Yeah,
That should be in a museum right there.
it should be. It should be. Matter of fact, you
But
should have come up with a kit.
you know,
You could have worked for him or become his partner because you could have converted your truck.
yeah,
So,
might sink like a lead balloon. But here's what I know. Okay, in the end, I think there's such a thing as immigration, and people used to come like through Ellis Island or Texas or wherever they come through, and they'd fill out the papers, and they'd have to go to a class and learn about America and stuff, then take a test, and it was kind of an arduous journey to just doing that. And then 9/11 happened; it got worse. But this this is ridiculous what we're doing here, and this
yeah,
is being done for nothing more than votes. And the thing is, most Hispanics are conservative people. They're not, I mean, I don't know how this is going to work out, but I do know that we're overtaxing our hospitals, our schools, our welfare system, social security system that they've never paid into, but they're getting for some reason. Every aspect of American life is affected by this, including jobs.
yep.
When's the last time you went into a kitchen or a restaurant anywhere where they didn't have, Hispanics working in the kitchen, and you know damn well they were illegal. They drive down
Jerry,
wages,
Yeah.
Jerry,
but
you mentioned about the Cuban guy coming to the United States with in that converted car. So I tried to see if I could find the story, but apparently he's not the only guy that had the same idea. I mean, here's one that they converted their vehicles into boats. They made it to Miami. Um, here's another one where they came in a Buick. They made it, to the United States to help the Coast Guard. Here's another one that converted a dump truck and arrived. So apparently, someone's either in Cuban making these things and selling them, or are there ideas on the internet, and people are just copying off the internet.
Well, it's possible. I mean, it's monkey see, monkey do, but
I just think
you
it's,
know,
it's like it's
those
like
those when you live in a communist country, okay, like Cuba, that there's no doubt Cuba's a communist country, small as it is, okay. You learn how to make shit, you learn how to adapt stuff, you learn all kinds of stuff because you're not getting like the United States gets goods in here all the time, and we don't, a lot of people don't have to do that, but that's not the case. So if you have, I don't know, a motorcycle out back and you stick a boat motor on it and some pontoons and you ride over like you're cool, I guess. I don't know. I just know that people can be very innovative when they have to, and when you live in a communist country, you have to. And you see these Russian guys on YouTube; they can make anything out of anything, and it works. It's insane what they can do, and that's
see, and that's
because
it's, that's the kind of people the United States wants. People who have the ability to innovate. People who have the ability to use their brain to create things using their hands. That's what created this nation. You know,
I agree.
um, uh, what we're getting
Look at me and
across that
Randy.
border.
Look at
Once in a
me and
while,
Randy agreeing on stuff. Yeah, I know. That's pretty cool.
yeah, it
No,
is.
I agree with him 100%. You want people like that because I like to think of myself like that. And there's nothing wrong with somebody who could come in with their hands and their mind together and come up with this, whatever, make life easier. Because America, from the start, has been a very innovative country. We have taken things that are, made elsewhere or what, and have made them better or made this easier or that easier, but while getting the job done, basically, and I think we've lost a lot of that because everybody thinks if you go to college, you're going to be a genius. And we've definitely lost the geniuses. I got to tell you that.
I heard this
But
many years ago. I heard this saying. I don't know if it was a joke or if it was for real, but it was more saying that the United States scientists who were engineers were so excited that they're able to drill the smallest hole in the world, and they were so proud that they sent it to Japan, and Japan sent it back with a screw fitting inside the hole.
yeah, I have no doubt that's true. And think about Japan. Japan is very technical. And look at how they go to work. They got to like do calisthenics and crazy
Yeah.
shit. And the boss is never wrong. You try arguing with your boss over there, they send you to like a re-education camp or some crap. I don't know if they still do that kind of thing, but they used to.
In
Kids are in
Siberia.
school all year learning. Kids are in school all year learning. They're way ahead of American kids in
Oh my God,
school.
yeah.
It's ridiculous how far. That's why they keep getting into Harvard, and Harvard is pissed off because they are very capable of getting into Harvard, many of them, probably not all of them. There's got to be some dumb Japs. I don't know. But, in the end, that's why they are capable of getting into Harvard. Now, Harvard's pissed off about that because I guess there's not enough blacks or Hispanics or whatever. So they're doing that, racist crap to get the Chinese out and these people in who many of them, if their president and now their diversity boss has been caught plagiarizing, I'm guessing that that's not working out too well for him.
When you look at the schools in the United States, now I'm not saying every school is this way. I think what we're seeing on the videos and the Twitters and Instagrams and all those social medias of the students attacking the teachers and the teachers attacking the students and the students attacking each other are primarily your inner city schools. But the Japanese, and I would say so, mostly Asian nations, they go to school, like you're saying, 24/7, 7 days a week for the entire year. they're learning shit. And
Yeah.
and that's why you see these damn 5, 6, 7 year olds, playing the damn piano, in front of thousands of people, because all they did from the moment they woke up to the moment they went to sleep was practice on an instrument, or they had their face in a book, or whatever. They were learning it because they were driven to make them the best that they can. We have students who say "fuck you" to the teachers, and they're throwing shit at each other, and they're attacking the teachers. Is like, it's the Chinese showed video of their damn students taking apart weapons and taking them and putting them back together again. Why? Those students are going to be the ones fighting our asses in the trenches, where our guys going to be, oh, I'm waking. It's like we're screwed.
Yeah. Yep,
There used to
you're
be
right.
a time. There used to be a time when parents in foreign countries sent their kids to college here
Yeah.
because when you went
Yeah.
home, you had the skills to be a brain surgeon. You had the skills to be
Yeah.
an MBA, and it was
There
a
were
loyal thing. It
there
was
were
a
there were
loyal thing to
there
do.
were there were countries that would pay the kids to go to college in America, and then they had like a contract where they had to come back for, I don't know, like 5 years or something, and apply
Yeah,
that particular trade in that country. Then they can go anywhere they want, which seems to me that that's actually, I know it's that 5 years of school, 5 years, but you're getting not only getting a college education, you're also getting experience in your own country, and you're helping the people of your own country that their tax dollars paid, for you to go to college. I don't have a huge problem with that. Um, the problem is now is we're trying to keep people out that deserve to be in, and put people in who have no business being there. Okay. Not everybody is college. I was never college material ever. I mean, I'm not stupid, but books don't impress me as far as having to read them, memorize them, and then go take a test. I suck at that. I'm better with my hands, and I always knew that. And maybe it's because I grew up with a guy who was the same way, my father. But I don't know. Whatever it was, I knew that. But there were people I knew that were very capable of going to college, and they did. But see, colleges were different back then too. They're always liberal, but they would at least let you speak, and they would have debate, and not what we're seeing now. Now it's just a big social experiment, where everybody is, worrying about a safe space like that exists. I don't know. The only safe space I've ever found is inside the four walls of my house, and that's not even completely safe. I mean, it's as safe as you can make it, but that's it. I mean, you go to college and you're afraid of somebody else's opinion. That's not going to bode well for the rest of your life.
no, not really. And I can't imagine. Randy had even mentioned that there's kids in the lower grades in elementary school who are now identifying as cats and acting out being a cat in school. And I was just thinking, if I was the principal of that school and the student government came up and into my office and they're all cats and they're complaining about not having the right litter in the bathrooms,
Yeah.
I think I'd be calling some parents and go, you need to pick up your kid and get them some help, or homeschool them and get them the kind of litter that they want.
Little kids do that all the time. I mean, they want to be a cat or a dog. When I was a kid, my brother wanted to be a fire truck, okay, or a police car.
Yeah.
They're little kids. They do that. I used to laugh at him when he said, "I want to be a police car," and he was like 3. Okay, but we're talking about high school students doing this. And if you're saying that and getting dressed up like a cat and going to school and acting like a cat, and that's mental health right there. There's a problem. number one.
Right.
And number two, it's criminal that people are going along with it. Okay. I mean, all schools have some kind of dress code, and it's okay to come to school dressed like a cat, purring and meowing instead of speaking and thinking like a student. I mean, I'll grant you, most students don't think that much, but you got to do better than that. I mean, the problem is this entire thing, everything is just put up with. And you know what? It needs to stop. And these damn teachers that agree with putting up with this wholeheartedly and encourage it, make it work. You encourage your kid to do something stupid, he's going to do it every time. Sorry, we all did. We all did that. That's how
Right.
kids are. They're stupid.
And we were kids, and we did it because we were kids, and it was stupid to do, but we learned something from it. And it just seems today the kids keep doing. My favorite expression is play stupid games and win stupid prizes. And if they had thought about the stupid prize they won, it wouldn't have been worth playing the stupid game. But go ahead, Jerry.
I wish there was like a way that kids had no rights. They were given, they had the right to eat and be loved and all that, but no constitutional rights until they earned them. And it would take like, I don't know, maybe, graduate high school, you earn your rights, something like that. Not, you don't have to serve in the military or nothing like that. But just, they have to work towards earning those rights. And you'd have a lot less high school dropouts. And parents would be, I think, a little bit more in tune with what the hell's going on in the schools. Because the only good thing came out of COVID is that the parents figured out what was going on in the schools. And to this day, that's still a mess. They're being called domestic terrorists, and by our illustrious idiot was Attorney General, and so on and so forth. It's not necessary to use your rights, but it sure is nice to have them. And it's very simple to be a communist or a progressive or a socialist or anarchist or atheist or whatever you want to be when you live in America. You try that crap in some other countries and you'll find yourself up to your neck getting hit in the head with rocks. It's, I don't know. Me, I like my rights. I want to keep them. And if I need them, I want to use them. And I don't want anybody telling me any different. If you don't like it, tough shit. I mean, the government will take away rights like it's unreal. I smoke. You realize there are places you can't even smoke on the property. Outside.
Yep.
Okay. And there's people that are okay with that. I'm not okay with that. I get it. You own the building. You don't want people smoking in it. Okay, fine. Whatever. But outdoors, you don't own the air outside. And if somebody don't like the fact you're smoking, they can get their ass up and move. It's simple. But nobody listens to me, so.
Go ahead, Randy.
It's like you said, back in the day, you go into a restaurant or a store or whatever, everyone was smoking, your Hollywood people were smoking, and hell, they had, commercials with kids for smoking. It's just something that you did. And then somewhere along the line, someone would say, well, hell, you're getting lung cancer from the cigarettes. So, you got to stop smoking. We got to put things in place to try and keep people from wanting to smoke. Let's raise the price of the cigarettes and stuff like that. No, what you got to do is take out that damn drug that addicts the person to the desire for the nicotine to smoke. I mean, you have healthy people dropping dead, right? And taking away the whole idea about the shot. But, we're finding out that there's all kinds of things that are creating cancer in our bodies. Different foods we eat, flowers, perfumes, different things are being put into a product that, until they actually get out there in the public, they won't know what the true effects are. So, to try and, tell a restaurant, I mean, they actually went into a point where they actually put in these special vent systems, so where you could have your smoking and
Yeah, I remember that.
non-smoking,
Yeah.
right? Because the vent system, I guess, was turned on so high that smoke went right up into the ductwork. But my thought is this: if hospitals and medical facilities can create a HVAC system that effectively removes the bacteria that causes COVID, so you can actually, go in there without wearing a mask. Well, why can't you do the same thing on a smaller
Smaller one.
Hang on a second.
All right. Well, to me, I'm going to jump in for a second, and I'm going to say, to me, I personally think the person or persons who created the cigarette should be dangling somewhere from a rope around their neck, only because you created something that you wanted people to do. And it was supposed to be something that they enjoyed. Most of the ingredients in most of the cigarettes were things that if you smoked long enough, you were going to die from smoking the ingredients. So to me, if tobacco companies weren't putting anything other than tobacco in a cigarette, and either putting a filter in it or not a filter, because my dad smoked Lucky Strikes until he quit. My mom smoked Viceroys until she quit. They had a filter, but if you want to smoke, because it's like we didn't do anything with alcohol, and alcohol kills and creates just as many problems for your body. Yet so I mean, I don't know what the answer is. If you want to smoke, you should be able to smoke. We had a problem with the limousine business at one time, that we had customers who insisted they did not want to be in a car that smelled or reeked of tobacco of any kind. And you could have been in there with 15 cigarettes in your mouth at the same time, Jerry. And when Randy got in the car, he wouldn't have known that anybody ever smoked in that car. But it came down to we had to have non-smoking cars, and we had to have smoking cars. And when it finally became evident that the inside of the smoking cars was not as nice as the inside of the non-smoking cars, the majority of clients decided we weren't going to have smoking cars. But realistically, if you want to smoke, you should be able to smoke. But
see, when I was growing up, my mom and my dad, unfortunately, he started smoking when he joined the military, because one of the first things they do is they hand you a pack of cigarettes. Anyways, they smoked for over 60 years, and it never occurred to me that the smell of the cigarettes would be on my clothing. So as a teenager, I dated, I dated, and it never occurred to me that going to my girlfriend's house, or my hopeful to be girlfriend's house, I would reek of cigarette smoke. But but thankfully, no one said anything. Like, hey, you stink. Okay. Here's the Patriot clap coming in.
If it's too loud, I apologize. You can cut me out. I don't want to mess it up.
Go ahead, go talk.
How's everybody? I'm just left the gas station in Birmingham, Alabama. I'm on my way to Louisiana. That's about it. Everything's been a safe trip.
You're muted, Dave.
I hope everybody's doing well. What's up, Brother Jerry?
Okay. Is your stop Are you ending in Louisiana, or are you going from Louisiana to Texas?
They have an overnight stop in Louisiana. They'll be leaving out of there at 9 tomorrow. So I'll be in Louisiana about 2 in the morning.
Okay.
I already got my room reserved, so I'll just go in there and go to sleep.
All
That's
right.
it.
Okay. And then you'll be live tonight until you hit your hotel and go to sleep.
Yeah, I just I had went off to get some gas and get something to eat.
Okay. Good.
That is about it. I'm gonna go back live probably about 10 o'clock, and then
Okay.
I'll bring it in at 10. That's it.
All right. So, folks, go over to the William Rayfield page on Facebook, or look up the Patriots Lab around 10 o'clock tonight, and you'll get more updates. And then tomorrow, when he hits the road again, you'll be able to watch throughout the day. On my profile, there is a post that showed part of the trip this morning. It was really cool. It actually felt like he had his camera looking out his windshield, and it actually felt like you were driving his car, which was really cool. I got to say, he's a pretty good driver.
So William, I know there's a lot of civilians that go on there in their cars and so forth. So when you get there, what do you yourself expect to do when you get there? Are you going to help build the barbed wire, or are you just going to, stand on the walls? As far as from a civilian standpoint, what do you folks hope to obtain other than being a body saying, we're protecting Texas?
Well, my whole goal and objective for what I do is basically I conduct as many interviews and as many important interviews that I try to conduct the whole time I'm there. This trip agenda, I'm trying to talk to border agents. I'm trying to talk to some type of government officials. But more importantly, I'm trying to get an answer from the mainstream media, whether it be MSNBC, Fox, CNN, whoever's there that don't tell the truth. I got questions and I want answers. People know what I do. If you've never seen the Patriots Lab on the road, you don't want to miss this one. I don't go there just to hang out. I go there to get shit, try to get answers. That's what I do.
Do you expect any outbursts or attacks on your people and your convoy? Any type of military action against you while you're there?
To be honest with you, I've had to, because I've been bombarded with so much different information. Like my wife said, Ray, you'll find out when you get there.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing I can go on, because I don't know the unknown. God can part the Red Sea or that route or that water. I don't know, to where they can never cross. I don't know, brother. But one thing I do know, whatever happens, I gotta be there to make sure I bring the actual and the factual.
So now, are you part of the convoy, or are you driving by yourself?
I'm by myself. I will link in with the convoy. Quite a few of them are at the hotel waiting for the lab to show up now. So that's going to be a great reunion. Haven't seen a lot of them since Hagerstown and when the convoy came across California. And needless to say, there's a lot of them that are back at it again. So, and it's, for a lot of people, they need to understand this right here. This isn't for confrontation. This is strictly to bring awareness. I'm spending $1,500 just to go down here because I believe that strong in what I'm doing. It's not to fight the government. It's to do something besides sit in the lab at home. People always say, Ray, you just sit out. No, my car's been broken down. But my wife, knowing how passionate I am, finally decided she would drive the BMW and I would take her new car on this long haul.
Oh, damn.
Oh, yeah, because I'm not bringing the BMW to Texas. Hell no.
I know. I joked with him when I was watching this morning that it was really cool because he had his camera facing aimed at the road ahead of him. And I said, this felt like I was in the convoy driving myself to Texas. And then he turned the camera around on himself and he wasn't in the BMW. And I was for a second there.
But you know what? To be quite honest with you, if I wasn't an independent journalist and do what I do, I don't know if I'd make this trip. To be quite frank, I don't know if I would have made this trip. But there's something in it for me. Not like Saving America ain't, but there's something personal in it for me. So that's why I sacrifice to make sure I'm able to do what I do. I don't ask nobody for a dime.
Right.
I do it my own.
Yep.
Wait, can't nobody come back and say nothing to me about nothing. Just like I do my show, my dime, my time. That's how I roll. So now anybody that's ever get a chance to see the Patriots laugh face to face, not behind no motherfucking keypad warrior shit, and we can make this motherfucking country great again and leave all the bullshit alone. Because if they're down there for a reason.
That is very true. That is very
true. But I'm
true.
sure there's gonna be all kind of assholes in this convoy. I'm sure. It's to be expected. Happens every time.
Yeah.
So you expect there might be some people inside your convoy who want to try and start something?
Yeah, but see, this time I think they're gonna be put in check by their own. So at least that's what I hear. That's what I hear. Now, let's see if their fight is worse than a bark.
All right. Go ahead.
Do you think there's any FBI people mixed in with your group?
Oh, hell yeah. There's all kind of people down here. All kind of alphabet people down here. They might be one of the ones trying to pop something off. And then again, you might have some pissed off Americans that don't want to come down here and hear that bullshit. Turn my light out for this police to be coming behind me, I think. Or that's somebody just wanting to cruise. Come on, man, come. If you coming, shit. Oh, pardon my language. I just want to make sure there ain't no cop. Because you know you drive with your bulb light on.
They will. They will.
Because I'm in Alabama.
Well, be careful.
Boys get down in Alabama.
Yeah. All right, Ray, be careful.
All right. God bless, guys.
All right. Thanks for dropping by.
Take care. Stay safe.
Yep. Safe travels. All right. We'll check in with you tomorrow. All right, gentlemen. William Rayfield, who is, as he said, in Alabama, on his way to Louisiana, and then ultimately on his way to Texas. And anybody who is on their way to Texas, we wish you safe travels. We hope you stay safe and vigilant while you're there. And whatever you do, be safe. And I think Jerry had the floor before Ray came on for his update, so we'll return the floor to Jerry, and then we'll move around. And 9 o'clock, we're going to pull the plug.
Well, actually, I'm going to pull it here momentarily myself.
Yeah, I got to go too. So
Okay.
I got to go too. But
All right.
It's past my witching hour.
His determination is admirable. I hope he's careful because
Yep.
he's more than likely right. They're all the 3-letter agencies are either in the convoy now or will be inserting themselves at some point after they get there. And I would hate to see another January 6th happen. That's for sure.
That, or what would really freak me out, is when the people in the convoys get somewhere and realize that, say, 25% of the 700 trucks in their cars in their convoy are 3-letter people that are waiting for them to get to Texas, and then create a January 6th. And I hope that doesn't happen either. But
isn't
Jerry,
it interesting?
Very,
this is the biggest thing. This is the biggest thing in on our in conservative land, I guess. And not one word about it from anybody in the mainstream media or the side media or any of that. I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know. This should be major news with this many people going. 700 vehicles, I think somebody just said. Thousands of people. I don't know. Anyway, Dave, I appreciate you having me on. And we'll see you the next time, hopefully tomorrow night.
I'm very glad that you came, and I will do my best. So keep a square open for me tomorrow night. I promise that I will take my nap in the afternoon and be ready to go and be there. All right.
All right. Take care. Thank you, Dave. Right, take care, Rainey.
All right.
You too.
All right. Let's see. Jerry Michaels from the American Rebellion, which is now on Rumble. And if I get over here for a second, I can even give you a link that you can take and watch it. The American Rebellion is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, 7 p.m. until they are done. That's Eastern time, so adjust your clock and your body accordingly and be there. And let me go back up here for a second. And Randy, it was a pleasure having you. You want a couple of seconds to do your song and dance about your business? And I apologize for calling you the Grand Dragon of Genealogy. Okay.
Yeah, I left my white hat in the other room. But no, I have a few slots left. I tried to give each of my clients 2 hours every day. So I had a couple of clients who have temporarily left me because they're doing other things right now. So I had some spots open to start before that. So it left me the ability to bring on a couple more people. I was astonished last night. I picked up 3 new ones. So I, took up a lot of my slots in my calendar. But I still have room for like maybe 2, maybe 3 more people who are looking for the family history. And it doesn't have to be, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1 year. I have a lady with me who's been over a year because she wants to know everything about anything about her family. And I'll tell you what, you may not think that your little, speck of the world generates any history about you or your loved ones, but it does. When you think about, going through school, every year you had that picture taken for the yearbook. Gotta get that yearbook, picture taken, or you have the prom dance, or you have this dance, or you have a sports event. The kid made the chicken match. All through life, we're generating spots of history that, believe it or not, are being recorded. And when I see the newspaper archives, which I pay an extra $20 a month for, so I can access newspapers from around the world. I'm talking around the world, going back literally multiple hundreds of years to where they first started printing, a newsprint. It is amazing what you can find. I just had a person reach out to me last night and said, "Randy, I bought this at a flea market. It's an envelope addressed to this person concerning the 61st Confederate Convention. I would like to get it back to the families who are still living. Can you help me?" And I just went into newspaper archives, typed the guy's name in, boom, there he was, right? So he's going to be able to get this envelope to the survivors of this guy's family.
A very novel thing to do. Our eldest son bought letters, and I believe actually found the survivors to return them to. And it's a very novel thing. Some people like to just buy the letters and have own the letters and have the history, but it's a very novel thing if you can, in fact,
it's a sad thing. When you have to, I don't know, maybe it's just me, maybe I'm weird, I don't know, but to think of what our ancestors did and how they lived to get here to make me, and the little bits of piece of information that they leave behind. I mean, when someone goes in and excavates a plot of land and they find the remains of an outhouse, and they're down there digging in, 100-year-old, feces, and they're finding, pieces of newspapers or letters or, bottles, mason jars, whatever. They become part of history. That's how they lived. But, for people who buy these old homes and they find this little hidden, underneath the floorboard or in the wall, or, a stone that you pull away from the fireplace, this little hidey place that the people who lived there hid their stuff in. A lot of times that stuff winds up in a flea market or an old, used bookstore. And, people who go in there and buy those things, and it has a picture, it has the person's name or whatever. You have two choices: keep it for yourself and be greedy, or try and seek out, living family members who are going to want to love and cherish that piece of history.
But for some people, unfortunately, it's a big market. I mean, you go in with something like my 1 ounce copper coin, and there's a Trump coin that I got for Father's Day from my son and my grandson last year. But you take that and you go into like pawnbroker's pawn shop up in Las Vegas that you can watch all over YouTube. And there's another guy with his son and daughter, just Les, I can't remember the name of his shop, but people go in and they'll bring something like that. They'll put it on the counter, and both shops will have their expert come in and verify it. And the expert will say it is what it is. And the owners of the pawn shop will ask them, "What do you want for it?" And they'll say, like, I don't know, $150 million. And they're just not going to get it. But I think you do have a responsibility, like you said, to
you ever watched the Pawn Star? Pawn Star. The father and son who own a Pawn Star in California, and
it's actually the grandfather, Rick's father.
He passed away.
Right, but Rick's father actually opened the pawn shop. Yeah. When Pop retired or took less on, he gave it to Rick and his son Rick.
Yeah. It amazes me. I looked up how much the guy's worth. I think it's like $9 million. It doesn't seem like a lot, because when you look at his, and I know a lot of it has to be, for the camera, But when you look at some of the screenshots and they're just, doling out all these gold coins, or, they see the machine, counting out the money, it makes you wonder, the $9 million is all he's worth. And here he is, he's dropping all this money to buy cannons and cars and planes and jets and shit.
He found Rick, the son, found Pop the same Lincoln four-door convertible that Ford made Kennedy's limousine out of, and spent a mint putting it back together, and gave it to Pop for his birthday. And I would have loved, oh my God, I would have loved to have been able to buy that car. But
make sure, but it goes back, my whole thing in my life right now. I don't know if it's because of my old age and I'm facing the grave soon or what. I don't know. A few years back, I just got interested in ancestry and learning about my family and so forth. And when that one lady reached out to me, can you find out why one side of the family doesn't talk to the other side of the family? I thought, well, that has nothing to do with ancestry. It has something to do with, family arguments. But I said, sure, I'll give it a shot. And I wasn't charging anything for it at that time. And I used my newspaper archives to find out the guy came home a national hero from World War II. He had the whole ticket parade, the whole 9 yards, went home and found out that his wife had a 9-month-old baby son. And he knew that the son was not his. And he killed the baby. And I had newspaper articles and so forth. And, before I told her all this, I prepped her for it. I got her ready. And she wanted information. So I gave it to her. I said, well, what you do with it between you and your family is up to you. But in the process of my finding that, and what I find happens so often, I'll find other things, right? So I found that, this family had an uncle who drove a bus, and the people who rode his bus wondered who he was. And I got that newspaper article along with a picture. And this lady who talked to me about, her grandfather said, I gave that to my cousin, whatever, and it was his dad. And the guy called me and said, Randy, you brought tears to my eyes. I never knew this about my father. He never talked about this. Here's $50.
Yep.
Son, ding, 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 ding.
Yep.
I can make some money. So from that point forward, I started charging a little bit of money for my time. And it breaks down. But when you take away all my expenses, and I have a shitload of expenses for what I do, It's not just the internet. It's the iPod. It's the cell phone. It's the paper. It's the ink. All this stuff adds up to an expense. I'm making $3 an hour.
God, you're doing better than me.
As opposed to a lady who's charging $45 an hour, but I'm giving more into it. I mean, I'm working like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm taking phone calls at 11 o'clock at night. A genealogist doesn't normally do that, but I do it because people are reaching out to me, unfortunately, from different time zones. Okay. So I have to get the consideration, but they want to know.
Yeah. Sometimes I think people have to respect that, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon where they are, but it's 11:30 at night where you are. So you kind of got to be awake.
But I am all roads lead to home genealogy. I did break away from a Confederate group. I did break away from them for reasons I'm not going to explain here.
And he returned his commission, so he's no longer a colonel. He's now the Grand Dragon.
All I am now. No. Actually, when I resigned my commission to that, I got picked up by the SIA, was the Southern Independence Association, whose only desire, I know you won't like this, Dave.
I like everything.
Their only desire is to split the nation. They want to create a strong Southern nation, as well as protecting the statues and monuments and so forth. But they want to do it legally. They want to do it through the process of using the Constitution that says, as a state, we have state rights.
Right.
We don't like what you're doing. It's like with Texas. Okay. Keep your eyes on Texas. That might be the straw that breaks the nation's back.
It isn't that I don't like the plan. It's partly I don't like the plan because you and I had a conversation on a broadcast one night that said if you live in a blue state that all of a sudden gets surrounded by red states, or the opposite, you live in a red state that all of a sudden gets surrounded by blue states, the pressure is going to be on your state to go blue. And I just think that once we've cut the country in two, it's going to get cut into 4, and then it's going to get cut into 8, and then it's going to get,
Look at North and South Korea. Okay, there were reasons why they split their nation, but now there is this, I guess, desire to reunite the country into one.
But evidently Kim doesn't want that. Evidently Kim does not support the reuniting.
Well, it would boil down to who's going to be the leader, right?
I think Kim is afraid that it won't be him. Although he's got the power, he's better equipped to become the leader than.
Well, did you see he destroyed his father's statue?
No.
That's a big thing. For whatever reason, he decided to destroy that statue. Who knows? So a reunited North and South Korea? Who knows? And
I know, but I appreciate you coming, and maybe some 10 o'clock in the mornings when it's easy to do it, maybe coming up in the near future. Randy's working on a broadcast that was going to be in February. He said the last communication that I got was that there's some programming things he needs to work out, and we will let you know so that everybody is watching it. I'm not sure exactly when it's going to be yet, but as soon as we know.
Yeah. I was actually surprised when I came on to one day just as an ad lib kind of broadcast. I had close to 200 people who watched it, or at least that's what it shows. So, it's going to be a unique, different kind of programming. It's still going to happen. Just I got to figure out the program format. And with that being said, Dave,
are you ready?
Parachute. Here I go.
All right. All roads lead to home. Genealogy, talking about his parachute. That's an old joke. It just started that when it was time for people to leave the broadcast because they had to go or the broadcast was ending, I started joking about after they did their closing, just hitting the buttons and knocking them off. So it's not done at that part of the broadcast. It's not being done to be mean to anybody or end the broadcast. Nick Gurr, a pleasure having you. First time you've watched, but evidently you know Jerry. So if you know Jerry, then you're okay in our books. Larry Burns is in Canada, makes Boogie with the Bull an international broadcast because he is in Canada. So that means we were outside of the United States today, thanks to the Facebook Global Network. Jane O'Malley, I hope that you get to the website that Jerry posted earlier and get a route and a safe route, and that you get to watch and show your support of the convoys as they go by. And scrolling up, let's see, Brian Snooks, Strasser, glad that you dropped by. And Robin Brunson was here, who thinks everybody on planet Earth should be drinking Fat Cup coffee from Fat Cup Coffee Company. I do too. And we joked around and seriously talked about talking with them about a sponsorship that might have led to coffee being traded for sponsorship announcements and then maybe even given away to people watching the broadcasts. And then some embarrassing broadcasts happened, and I'm not sure. But we'll work on it, and we may talk to them, and you never know. Anyway, scroll up further. The problem was removed from the live chat on the Facebook side, but when the broadcast becomes a podcast on Facebook and on YouTube, that may not be the case. You may see that problem, and I apologize for that, but excrement happens, and you do the best that you can. So we're not going to say any more on that. We'll just keep scrolling up the screen, and I think we say goodbye to everybody. So this is the part of the broadcast where I tell you have been watching Boogie with the Bull Tuesday Night Live, a copyrighted presentation of the No Budget Broadcasting Company. We own it all. That's all I'm going to say. I sang I think 3 words from a song that I don't remember. I have to go back and watch, but we didn't have permission, and I doubt very seriously anything's going to come of it. And if it does, then I apologize. But I don't even remember what it was. So on that note, it's 8:55. We're going to pull the plug and get ready to go to bed. And Jane O'Malley, thank you. God bless to you. It's our pleasure doing whatever we do. And we will be back on Thursday night. Tomorrow is Wednesday, so over on Rumble at the American Rebellion, Jerry Michaels, Jen Woodruff, Nikki Young. Daryl Rector is on sabbatical right now because his shift changed at work. Maybe Robert Lawless will drop in. Maybe a lot of people will drop in. Maybe you'll drop in. Maybe I'll drop in. I don't know. Go over there and watch it. And to anybody who may have heard me say on a Boogie with the Bull broadcast, the American Rumble on Rebellion, I apologize if I did in fact say it. I thought I only typed it to Jerry as a joke in a private message between the both of us. But if I actually did say it on a broadcast, I apologize. It is the American Rebellion, and they are on Rumble. The American Rebellion, and they are on Rumble. So if you're a Rumble member, go over there and join the American Rebellion page, and you can watch it. And as long as you're signed in to Rumble, you can see the live chat. If you are watching it over on Facebook, because people do post it on Facebook, you will not be able to watch the live chat because it doesn't come to you on Facebook. That's just the way it works. You have to go to Rumble if you want to be in the live chat. So on that note, I'm going to go up here. Double B's for victory. This Believable broadcast is going to come to an end probably